On OSRC News at 7, experts call for coordinated approach to tackle insecurity for lasting peace. Federal government orders closure of 41 unity schools amid security concerns. Mixed reactions greet court's verdict on Nnamdi Kanu's conviction. From foreign scene, Qatar, DR Congo hold peace talks, partnership to boost ties.
Good evening and welcome to the news. I am Omoshidiola Adesoye Ajayi. The insecurity in the border communities of Kebbi and Kwara State underscores deep-seated national challenges, weak border control, rising poverty and expanding criminal networks. While security agencies intensify efforts to restore calm, it is evident among Nigerians that coordinated action, stronger surveillance system and genuine community involvement are required for lasting peace. Omorion Language engaged some security experts in Ondo State on the situation at hand.
From relentless bandit attacks to cross-border smuggling and frequent kidnapping, once peaceful rural towns are fast becoming hotspots of criminal activities. Now that similar patterns are beginning to spread to other regions, residents are increasingly worried.
In the area of providing security for all, let the safety of life and properties be of utmost priority to government. Let the security agencies do more in ensuring that they combat terrorism and insurgency, banditry, and all these other things that we are talking about. The life of every soul is precious.
It's a call to action. You know, the federal government should look into how they could fight the issue of insurgency in the state. You know, it's everybody.
The unfolding crisis in borderlands, much like what is happening in Kebbi and Kwara, remains a major concern, especially for those in the southern part of the country, particularly the southwest.
Strong body, strong body!
State commandant of the vigilante group in Ondo State, Gideon Akinwumi, emphasized that security in Nigeria must be proactive rather than reactive, calling for a comprehensive approach to tackle emerging threats.
The way we handle security in Nigeria, it is far from working. The reason is that whatever meetings security agencies have always leak into the society. For example, you want to catch a thief, you are telling the thief, we have planned out to catch you now. We're going to stay there for you. Someone's going to stay there for you, and at 9 o'clock we're going to be here. You think you catch the thief? No.
He also urged Southwest governors to adopt necessary measures that involved high-ranking stakeholders in the security sector to strengthen ongoing efforts.
This is the time that all the governors in the Southwest should have a very serious meeting concerning security. And this time around, not meetings within the governors alone. Let them invite stakeholders. Let them invite people. You understand? Either federal government agencies and the security professionals and private agencies. You understand? NGOs, like people like us. You understand? Let us rub minds.
Mr. Babalola Williams of the Kako Security Outfit stressed why Nigeria should be concerned at this time, attributing the rising security challenges partly to the misuse of the internet.
They have mixed up with us, and we allow them to live with us.
Any solution?
By giving them information against your tribe because of money. That is bad. People are doing the way they like. If our government can deal with them, let's try it for 2 months. You see, all these things will come down.
Meanwhile, Police Public Relations Officer in Ondo State, Olushola Ayonlade, is assuring residents to remain calm but vigilant, urging them to promptly report any suspicious activity. He noted that all security agencies in Ondo State are working round the clock to ensure that all border points remain secured.
Our people should not panic. Like I said earlier, we with other security agencies, we do everything possible. The Commissioner of Police have ordered an increase in the number of detectives to give us robust intelligence as to know when, what, and how. So the people of the state can be rest assured that we know events. I repeat, no untoward events will take us by surprise.
As authorities continue to search for lasting solutions, one thing remains clear: border communities cannot be left unguarded. Their safety is not just a regional issue, it is a national priority. Omoniola Mubiji, OSRC News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has ordered the immediate shutdown of all 41 federal unity colleges across the country following heightened security concerns in several regions. The Federal Ministry of Education, in a circular approved by the Minister of Education, stated that the decision became necessary in light of recent security challenges and the urgent need to forestall any potential breaches in the affected schools. The ministry instructed principals of the listed colleges to enforce the closure without delay, stressing full compliance across all affected states. The 41 schools span the northwest, northeast, north central, and parts of the south. The ministry in the circular emphasized the government's resolve to prioritize the safety of students and staff. In the meantime, the number of pupils and students adopted from the St. Mary private primary and secondary schools has risen to 303 according to the Niger State CAN. The adoption occurred in Papiri, Aguara local government area, where government stormed the St. Mary's Catholic School in the early hours of Friday, initially kidnapping 215 pupils and 12 teachers. Following a verification exercise and further inquiries, the number of adopted students was updated to 303, with the total number of victims now 315, including 12 teachers. The chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Niger State Chapter, Most Reverend Bulus Yohana, disclosed this in a statement released through his media aide, Daniel Atori, saying the increase came after a verification exercise and final census. The bishop also stated that the management of St. Mary Private Primary and Secondary Schools, as well as the National Association of Private Schools, did not receive any prior government circular instructing the closure of secondary schools in the area before the attack. And Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas has directed all public and private secondary schools in the state to immediately shut their boarding facilities as part of urgent measures to curb rising insecurity. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Education, Augusta Godwin, worsening security threats across the country have made boarding students increasingly vulnerable to adoptions, citing the recent kidnappings of students in Kebbi and Niger State. Godwin stated that the governor has instructed that all secondary schools operate strictly as day schools until further notice, adding that principal and school owners must ensure strict compliance. She explained that the decision is a preventive step aimed at preventing and protecting students and averting security breaches amid the escalating unrest in the region. Godwin also assured parents that the state government remains committed to restoring safety and is working closely with security agencies to address the situation. In the same vein, the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy has announced the postponement of the 2025 edition of the National Festival of Arts and Culture. The ministry, in a statement, said the postponement followed a careful assessment of the national mood amid rising insecurity across various parts of the country. According to the statement, the federal government believes it is more respectful and responsible to postpone the festival rather than proceed while many citizens are grieving. The festival, which is to be hosted by Enugu State, was scheduled to begin on November 22. The ministry added that a new date for NAFES 2025 will be announced following further consultations with stakeholders, including security agencies. You're watching the news on Osrc television. We'll take a break now. When we come back, the news continues. Please don't go away.
I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Give your child Bonvita. It contains essential vitamins and minerals that support mental and physical vitality. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Mixed reactions have trailed the conviction and sentencing of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, on terrorism charges by the Federal High Court in Abuja. The verdict has sparked strong reactions across the country, with condemnation from some quarters and cautious acceptance from others. Joy Pius sampled opinion in Akure in our reports.
Our Lord himself is merciful. No matter what we do, he is a merciful God. It is on that note that the court will follow this above admonition of Jesus Christ in the opposed passage and show mercy to the convicts. In addition, the death penalty globally is now being frowned upon by the international community. Consequently, and in the interest of justice, I hereby sentence the convicts to life imprisonment.
After a court ruling in Abuja, Justice James Omotosho handed down a life sentence to Nnamdi Kanu after finding him guilty on 7 counts bordering on terrorism, incitement, unlawful broadcasts, and ordering sit-at-home directives. Delivering his judgment, the judge noted that although the law permits the death penalty for these offenses, he opted instead for life imprisonment, saying he was moved by scriptural principles of mercy. He also ordered that Kanu be held in protective custody due to security concerns and barred from access to digital devices and must be strictly monitored. As news of the sentence spread, there have been mixed reactions. The views are sharply divided. Some see the judgment as a win for the rule of law, while some others differ.
We are here in this country. Boko Haram are having a field day. Hezbollah are having a field day. Just count them. And they are known. Yet not a single one of them have been prosecuted and jailed. Somebody who was not found with an arm, with a weapon, only just like you're interviewing me here now, making a broadcast, you say you're inciting people.
We all know where they are doing that terrorism, and there's a way they can capture the people and then sentence them to. And at the same time, these people that are actually doing this terrorism, by the time they are done with it, government will capture them. They will say they are giving them I don't know what they are calling it, pardon on terrorism, and then you are sentenced to another person to say life imprisonment. Is it justifiable?
We have people that have been inciting, people that have been asking people to kill people that are not practicing their religion. What have been done to them? Are they charging any of them to court? So you see, all these things, there's just no way you want to say that we can justify it. It is just being clear that all these things just one-sided judgment. That's just the fact.
However, respondents warn that this sentence may further deepen divides in the southeast, calling for a political resolution of the situation.
I heard the judge say you are doing a death sentence, but life is sacred, and he committed to life imprisonment. Okay. And looking at the leniency, I also feel that the federal government should weigh in and see how his personal demands or needs to be met outside the court. The law won't do much. in helping it, but they can meet outside the court and have it resolved.
Labeled an international terrorist, Nnamdi Kanu has been sentenced to life in prison after a lengthy legal saga. Notwithstanding that, his legal team has ordered the decision to appeal the judgment. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Seat of Wisdom Catholic College, Alagbakakure has emerged overall winner of the 2025 Lift Above Poverty Organization LAPO Quiz competition in Ondo State. The competition, which featured 100 secondary schools across the 3 senatorial districts, was aimed at strengthening students' knowledge in science and technology while promoting quality education. LAPO President Faith Osazua reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting educational development across Ondo State and neighboring regions. Adeomi Taiwo reports.
Choose the word or group of words that...
The keenly contested quiz competition provided an opportunity for students to deepen their understanding of science-related subjects and share learning experiences. 5 schools qualified for the finals out of the 100 that participated across the state. They include Fiwashaye Girls Grammar School, Akure, Adeyemi University Demonstration Secondary School, Ondo, Seat of Wisdom Catholic College, Akure, Model Secondary School, Akure, and Greater Tomorrow International College, Ikare Akoko. The students competed in physics, chemistry, biology, English, and mathematics. At the end of the rigorous rounds, Seat of Wisdom Catholic College clinched the first position, followed by Model Secondary School, Akure, while Greater Tomorrow International College, Ikare Akoko, came third. Representing LAPO President Faith Osazua, Ayobami Obadiora said, the organization remains committed to enriching students' knowledge in science and technology and supporting indigent learners to fulfill their academic goals.
Contributions of Lift Above Poverty Organization to education development include the LAPO Scholarship Scheme. The organization has awarded scholarships to over 4,000 deserving students in secondary and tertiary institutions and vocational trainees across Nigeria. Since its inception in 2008 to date, as well as donated books and learning materials to boost learning in resource-poor schools.
Chairperson of the event and national chairperson of the Organization for Women in Science for the Development World, Folashade Olajuigbe, commended LAPO for its continued investment in educational development. She described the initiative as a vital step towards nurturing young talent and breaking the cycle of poverty, urging students to embrace creativity and innovation.
We recognize the far-reaching impacts that initiatives like this have on personal development of students and on the broader educational landscape in Nigeria. Quiz competitions ignite curiosity, foster healthy competition, and promote teamwork. They encourage students to read widely, think critically, and remain academically engaged beyond the classroom.
Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Igbekele Ajibefun, represented by Mr. Adekunle Henry, praised LAPO's role in supporting the education sector and encouraged other organizations to take similar steps.
The true value of this competition lies not just in winning, but in knowledge gained, friendship forged, and memories created. These are sterling qualities that will shape your future and make you outstanding in every sphere of life endeavor.
Prizes include science and laboratory equipment and other educational support items were presented to the top 3 schools. Ariyo Okpemipo, who represented Seat of Wisdom Catholic College, expressed joy over the victory, saying it will further motivate them to excel academically.
We're happy to do that we won, and it says that it sends a message to us that we should try and read more.
The annual competition highlights LAPO's dedication to promoting academic excellence and innovation among students in Ondo State. Adewumi Taiwo, OSRC News.
The federal and state government has approved lowering the age for voluntary HIV/AIDS testing to 14 years, provided that testing strictly follows age-appropriate guidelines and due process. They also approved the adoption and implementation of the maiden national guidelines for sodium reduction across all states and the FCT. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Daju Kacholum, in a statement said, these approvals form part of a broader series of health reforms endorsed by the National Council on Health. Kacholum, while presenting the communique at the 66th National Council on Health in Calabar, Cross River State, announced that the council, chaired by the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, reviewed 92 memoranda, approved 20, noted 37, stepped down 27, and withdrew 8. The NHS is a high-level governance body responsible for the formulation, coordination, and implementation of health policies and programs in Nigeria. The United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has called on the Nigerian government to take decisive steps to curb violence targeting Christians. Hegseth made a call during a meeting with Nigeria's National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. According to a statement on his X handle, Hegseth used the meeting to express concern over the rising attacks in Nigeria. The Defense Secretary urged Nigeria to take both urgent and enduring action to stop violence against Christians, adding that Washington seeks closer cooperation with the federal government to deter and degrade terrorists that threaten the United States. He said the talks held in Washington, D.C. were frank, honest, and productive, focusing on counterterrorism, collaboration, security assistance, and the protection of vulnerable communities. The meeting held at the Pentagon followed recent remarks by the U.S. President Donald Trump, who claimed that Christianity was facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Rescuers raised to find more than a dozen people still missing after a week of heavy flooding in Vietnam, where authorities said at least 55 people have died. The Environment Ministry, in a statement, said rescuers were still plucking people from treetops and the roofs of homes as floodwater receded there on Friday. According to the Environment Ministry, multiple highways remained impassable on Saturday, and 300,000 people were without power after a blackout that initially affected more than 1 million. The National Statistics Office reported that natural disasters have left 279 people dead or missing in Vietnam and caused more than $2 billion in damage between January and October. Qatar has signed new cooperation protocols with the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, during a visit by Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The agreements are aimed at strengthening bilateral ties and expanding collaboration across various sectors. The development comes just a week after the Congolese government and M23 rebels signed a framework for a peace deal in Doha, a significant step towards ending years of conflicts in eastern DRC. Adirunke Kolawole completes the story.
Peace and partnerships, the objectives of this first visit by the Emir of Qatar to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since March, Qatar has been mediating peace talks between the RCS government and the AFC M23 rebels in the east, with a major framework agreement for comprehensive peace signed in Doha last week. The Emir is here to strengthen the peace with economic investments.
Qatar has announced an initial funding of $21 billion. I'm a fan of the saying, to start, you have to start. In other words, the 21 billion is a lever that will allow us to effectively tackle important issues, the sectors that can have a ripple effect on other areas. We can't start all sectors at once, even with 100 billion. We'll target sectors that, once realized, will have a ripple effect on other sectors, and that's where we'll allocate the 21 billion, particularly in agriculture, infrastructure, energy, and digital.
Qatar-DRC ties have continued to strengthen since November 2022, when DRC appointed its first ever ambassador to Doha. She pushed for strong economic cooperation and for the launch of a direct air link between Doha and Kinshasa by Qatar Airways.
The current state of the relationship between the two countries, the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the state of Qatar, are outstanding. I have to admit that, although young, because the diplomatic relationship between the two countries are 3 years old or 3.5 years old. But despite the fact that they are very young, they are also in a really good shape.
Qatar's outreach in Africa is widening with its recent pledge to invest $103 billion in 6 nations, mainly in the Great Lakes and East Africa. The Democratic Republic of Congo will receive $21 billion, Mozambique $20 billion, Zambia and Zimbabwe $19 billion each, and Botswana and Burundi $12 billion each. All are resource-rich countries are able to provide what Qatar might need to diversify its economy, which is still 60% reliant in hydrocarbons. Qatar is betting on these sources of its dual approach of peace, diplomacy and mutual economic partnerships in Africa, and the DRC leaders say they are on board. Aderunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
And that concludes the news tonight. But just before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. We told you that experts in Ondo State have emphasized the need to safeguard vulnerable areas, highlighting rising criminal activities in Kebbi and Kwara State, and bringing the nation's growing security challenges into sharper focus. We also inform you that the federal government has ordered the immediate closure of 41 unity schools over security threat, with the Education Ministry directing principals to enforce the shutdown across the affected regions. We also inform you that sentence to life imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu's verdict in Abuja has drawn mixed reactions, with Nigerians expressing sharply contrasting views over the court's terrorism ruling. And that's the news tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Good evening.